The Galactic Council's enforcement vessel, Righteous Judgment, drifted silently through the Kepler 442 system, its sensors scanning the debris field that had once been a human research outpost. Captain Zexthul of the Corvani clicked his mandibles in satisfaction as his crew sorted through the wreckage, cataloging violations of Council law. Another illegal terraforming operation, he reported to his superiors. The humans continue to spread like a plague, ignoring our territorial boundaries. Among the twisted metal and shattered habitation modules, they found something unexpected: a small escape pod, its life support system still functioning. Inside, a human child no more than 8 standard years old huddled in the emergency seat, her dark eyes wide with terror. "What shall we do with it, Captain?" asked Lieutenant Vextar, poking at the child with his scanner. Zexthul studied the readings. The parents are dead. According to Council Protocol 847, orphaned specimens from non-member species are to be relocated to appropriate facilities for study and integration. He paused, his translator clicking. "Take her to the xenobiology labs. The Altarian researchers have been requesting human subjects for their behavioral studies." The child, her name was Maya, though none of them bothered to ask, was processed like cargo, sedated, cataloged, and loaded into a stasis pod bound for the research stations in the Vega system. To the Council, she was simply another specimen, another data point in their vast bureaucracy. What they failed to understand was that humans never forgot their own. 3 months after Maya's disappearance, the missing persons report finally worked its way through Earth's colonial administration to the Terran Defense Force. What started as routine paperwork quickly escalated when investigators discovered the destroyed outpost and the missing child. Admiral Sarah Chen read the report twice before setting it down on her desk with deliberate care. Her aide, Colonel Martinez, had seen that expression before. It usually preceded something that would make the evening news across multiple star systems. "Ma'am?" Martinez ventured. "They took a child," Chen said quietly. "A human child. Our child. The Council claims they were within their rights under—" "I don't care what they claim." Chen's voice carried the weight of ice and iron. "Recall the 3rd Fleet from the Proxima Patrol. Full mobilization protocol. Ma'am, that's 200 ships. The Council will interpret that as exactly what it is, Colonel. We're going to get our daughter back." The Terran fleet that emerged from hyperspace above Altair Prime was unlike anything the Council races had seen before, where their ships were elegant curves and artistic flourishes. The human vessels were angular predators bristling with weapons that seemed to violate several physics theories. The flagship Indomitable alone massed more than most Council battle groups. Council President Yithak received the human transmission in his ornate chamber, surrounded by advisors from a dozen species. The human admiral's face filled the holographic display, her expression carved from stone. "This is Admiral Chen of the Terran Defense Force. You have taken one of our children. You have exactly 1 hour to return her unharmed, or we will come and take her back." The assembled Council members erupted in outraged clicks, chirps, and harmonized protests. Yithak raised a calming appendage. "Admiral, you misunderstand the situation. The child was orphaned in illegal territory. Under our laws—" "Your laws," Chen interrupted, "don't apply to human children. Ever. You cannot simply—" The transmission cut off. 57 minutes later, the human fleet opened fire. The first salvo wasn't aimed at the planet or the Council ships. Instead, it targeted the orbital defense platforms with surgical precision. Each shot was a statement. "We could have destroyed you instantly. We chose not to." The second salvo took out the communication array. The third disabled the Council fleet's engines. Not a single life was lost, but the message was unmistakable. "Impressive," whispered Research Director Kalmesh as she watched the tactical display. "They're not trying to conquer us. They're disciplining us." On the surface of Altair Prime, the research facility's staff watched in terror as human drop pods began landing outside their complex. The Marines who emerged moved with mechanical precision, their powered armor making them look like mythological war gods. Lieutenant Jackson's voice crackled through his helmet comm. "Facility secured, Admiral. One scared human child found in Xenobiology Lab 7. She appears unharmed but traumatized. Bring her home, Lieutenant." Maya was found in a sterile white room, electrodes attached to her temples, monitors tracking her every biological function. She hadn't spoken in weeks, her young mind retreating from the aliens who studied her like a laboratory specimen. When the Marine's helmet retracted to reveal a human face, she began to cry for the first time since her capture. "Hey there, kiddo," Jackson said softly, carefully removing the monitoring equipment. "Your people sent us to bring you home. You're safe now." The withdrawal of the Terran fleet was as swift and organized as their arrival, but they left behind a gift, a small beacon in Altair's orbit broadcasting a simple message in every known language. This child was under the protection of humanity. So was every other human in this galaxy. Remember that. Council President Yithak stood in his chamber's observation deck watching the alien beacon's steady pulse. Around him, his advisors debated sanctions, protests, and diplomatic responses. "What have we learned?" he asked his military attaché. "That humans are more dangerous than we calculated," came the reply. They mobilized a fleet for one child. One. If they're willing to risk war for a single orphan, what would they do for 1,000,000 colonists? 1,000,000,000 citizens? Yithak nodded slowly. The Council had encountered many species in their expansion across the galaxy. Some were weak and easily subjugated. Others were strong and became rivals or allies. But humans were something new. A species that defined strength not by their weapons or numbers, but by their willingness to protect their own. 6 months later, humanity was offered associate membership in the Galactic Council. The official reason cited their unique perspective on interspecies relations. The real reason was simpler. No one wanted to find out what would happen if they took another human child. Maya grew up to become a diplomat, one of the first humans to serve in the council chambers. She never forgot the day the Marines came for her, or the lesson it taught the galaxy. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their fleets. It was their refusal to leave anyone behind.